Hey, Terry, welcome to Muddy Money Monday.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's money.
Yeah, it's not raining in Philadelphia yet, but it's probably going to start raining. Well, I looked at the weather forecast. It looks to me like at PARX, we're going to be doing our picks today. It could start raining somewhere around the 7th race, 8th race, somewhere around 4 p.m. their time.
Yeah.
Between 3 and 4. So somewhere between races 7 and 8. Other than that, the weather should be all right earlier in the card. Not a whole lot of scratches today, Terry. So that's a plus thing. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was good, except for, of course, the 49ers lost. So I was a little disappointed. But, they just were outplayed. That's just the way it was.
Yeah, I was going to send you a text, but I didn't want to ruin your already ruined Sunday. But no offense, 49er fans, but if you can't beat Atlanta and you can't beat Marcus Mariota then you're not. You can just take those Lombardi Trophy hopes and throw them in the trash.
Yeah, I think that all the darn injuries have really affected them a lot. So I've got a feeling that they're gonna just be maybe 500 this year. So
did you see Baid lose on Sunday or Saturday?
I heard about it. Ran fourth.
Yeah, he did run fourth. So, actually, I had that winner in my picks. Just missed that the trifecta. The second place horse, Adi Adar or whatever. I was going to put him in. I thought the track was going to be a little off, but the weather turned out to be sunny and nice there in Australia. But nonetheless, it was an okay weekend. Tom and I on Friday night and that richest race for the sprint down in Australia. Tom had the exacta with only 2 picks.
Wow.
But if you put our picks together, because there was a scratch between the two of us, we made 5 selections.
Yeah.
If you had put them together in a superfecta box, 20 cents paid like $1,400.
Wow.
Hopefully we have some kind of experience like that today in Bensalem for PARX racetrack, Terry.
Be nice. Yeah, be very nice.
So that's the goal anyway, right?
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So you ready to get cracking on today's picks, my friend?
I am.
I'm hearing an echo again. If you can hear an echo, please in the comments section let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to pretend like I can't hear it. But otherwise, then we'll have to probably just mute Terry, because sometimes for whatever reason, when Terry and I connect, there's an echo. Nobody else. Can't quite figure it out. All right. Let's go to PARX then today, Terry, for race number 1. We got an 11 race card today. PARX race number 1 is 1 mile and a 16th on the main track. I don't think there's any turf races today, which is a plus. So far at 1 mile and a 16th, it looks like there's a speed bias. You want to be a little bit quick out of the gates, a little bit quick to the turn, but there is not much of an advantage no matter which post position you take. If we take a quick look at our way to the winners worksheet, just in case you haven't been here before, E-horses are horses that need the lead to win. EP horses can be pilot or co-pilot. P horses usually are trailing the leaders, haven't won on the lead, but no more than 2 lengths off of the leader when they've had a winning effort. Pressure closer horses can close, or much like the pressure horses, about 1.5 lengths, 2 lengths off the leader. And then, of course, the closers are the ones that have to close. NA, these are reserved for first-time starters or horses that have never been close. And according to the early pace, it looks like the 2 horse should be right where it's supposed to be on the lead. The pressure horse, the 3 horse, and the 5 horse carry the most late pace in this field. So they have an opportunity, if they're hugging the leader, to be right behind the leader and then perhaps run right by the leader at the end, Terry. So how is this race going to play out for you?
Well, I like the number 6 horse, Tosin. She won her last race at PARX Racing, has the highest last race speed rating, and has a high percentage winning trainer who in the last 14 days have been in the money 3 out of 5 starts with 2 wins. Then I like number 2, Little Miss Hotshot. She finished 3rd versus similar her last race, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then number 1, my 3rd pick, Frisky Feeling. She finished in the money at PARX Racing 43% of the time in all of her starts winning 27% of those races, and she switches to a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like as my fourth pick, number 5, Kano Chi. She ran second versus similar in her last race, and she has a pretty good jockey.
Like you, I'm going to start with the 6 horse. I think you were in my computer again, Terry. I got Townsend. It's a little faster fractions last out. Better early, late, and mid-pace numbers from beginning to the end of last race. Did produce the top last race speed figure. Number 2, Little Miss Hot Shot, probably going to be the pace setter in here, as I mentioned. Gets really brave when she holds the lead into the stretch. So if she has the lead coming out of that turn, would probably be very difficult to pass, becomes a lot more stubborn. Then I like number 5, Canucci. Also ran a little bit better times last time out. Catches a weight break here and one that should be closing at the end. And then finally, number 1. That frisky feeling was a tough call over to 3 for me, but I like this horse's numbers at PARX and at the distance a little bit better than the 3 horses. Race number 2, Terry. This one is a mile and 70 yards. There's a couple of mile 70-yard races in a row right here. So keep an eye on race number 2 to get a sense of what the track bias might look like. In race number 2, we look at our way to the winner's circle worksheet. We find that the 6 horse is one of the scratches in here today, the first one of the day. The 4 horse carries the top late pace number and also a plus for the combination of early speed and late speed. Probably one that'll be involved from the beginning to the end, from go to photo, Terry. This is your box it up. So why don't you give me your 4 numbers real quick, and then we'll switch over to that screen.
Okay, I like the 7, 4, 3, 5.
7, 4. Oops, I want one too many. 3 and 5. All right, Terry. So go ahead, and that's supposed to be a 5, not a 4. My fat fingers typing. Take us through why this is your. This one is your box it up.
Okay, well, I like number 7 as my first pick, Grazedly. He won his last race at PARX Racing. He has a high percentage winning trainer. That trainer wins 30% of the time when he brings a horse back after it's won its last claiming race. And the jockey in the last 7 days has been in the money 50% of the time and won 25% of those races. And then number 4, Spinster Red, whatever. Spinster, yeah. She won in his last race at Delaware Park and has the highest last race speed rating, has increased his speed in each of the last 3 races. And then I like number 3, Jarlian. He won his last, he was only beaten a length and 3/4 in his last race. And he switches to a high percentage winning trainer. And then number 5, French Toast. He switches to a high percentage winning jockey, and his early running style helps his chances.
All right, so that's a box it up. 4 horses, $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. Hoping to catch a price in there. Build out a nice ticket. That's the goal. Let's see. Hopefully it plays out. For me, in race number 2, I am going to start at this mile and a 70-yard race, which has a slight speed bias that favors the inside horses a little bit only. Your 4 horse is my is my first choice. That is Spinster Red, has a plus early pace, late pace advantage. And I think in a race that has a couple of people that want to be on the front, might be the speed of the speed. Number 3, as Terry is just mixing up my picks in his box it up, Jarlian was considerably better across the board. So once again, I see that the early pace, the mid pace, and the late pace numbers were all improvements off the prior start. This guy got claimed and then got gelded. So he's going to be like, I better win for this trainer. Who knows what's next?
You never know.
Yeah, never know. I mean, they cut that part off. I don't know what else is left. But anyway, French Toast is my 3rd choice. Came off the bench to run faster fractions for the first half of its last race. Resume says a big lift is very possible in race number 2 off the sidelines. And then finally, number 7, Grazedly won 2 in a row. Trainer Felix Flores Coba keeps this one in the claiming ranks, where he's a 31% winner for a trainer that normally wins at 21%. So keeping him in the claiming ranks is a alpha angle for Felix. Race 3, 7 furlongs. This one's maiden claiming $7,000. At 7 furlongs, there is an inside and outside bias. So the 1, 2, and 3, and then the 8+ do better than the middle horses. Does look like you want to have a little bit of speed in this respect as well. So getting out of the gates, getting towards the front, probably the best way to the winner's circle. Looking at our way to the winner's circle pace sheet, we see that the 3 horse is the EP horse, but has the most early pace. So if the 2 and the 8 are going too slow, probably going to move to the front. If these guys decide to go out and burn, likely to be right behind them as co-pilot, won't impact its chances to win, in my opinion. See here, you got a lot of closers in this field. So this one should, in terms of race shape, favor this group up here that looks a little bit quicker. If there's going to be one that comes off the pace, the 9 horse does have the most late legs with the number 1 ranking for late pace. Who's your number 1 ranked horse? Oh, your top 4 horses in here, Terry.
All right. Well, I like the number 5 as my major Cam is my first pick. He ran second versus Tougher in his last race. He drops in class today, has the highest last race speed rating. His best start speeds are fastest among today's starter, and the jockey combination with the trainer in the last 14 days have won 3 out of 8 starts. So he's got a lot of boxes marked.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, Tough Workouts, my second pick. He finished third versus Similar after having a lot of trouble in his last race. Has a trainer who wins 21% of the time when bringing back a beaten favorite to race again. And the early running speed he has will really help his chances.
Yeah, I had a tough workout all weekend long, Terry. In this room here, maybe a little bit. The sound is probably a little more echoey than usual because I cleared everything out. I'm putting in a new floor. Oh my God, am I sore? That's been a tough workout.
Yeah,
I'm too old for this stuff, Terry. Anyway,
I know. I agree. All I have to do is vacuum the house, and I'm sore for 2 days. Anyway, my third pick's number 6, Starship Gotham. He ran second versus Similar in his last race and has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 26% of the time in maiden claiming races. And then I like number 2 as my fourth pick. What a guy. He switches.
Thank you.
Yeah. He switches to a high percentage winning jockey and has a trainer who wins 21% of the time in the second start with that trainer or this trainer.
So once again, I see Terry is in my picks because I have the 5 horses, my first selection in here as well. That is Major Cam did run the top last race speed figure, dropping in class. If you've been around here before, you know I love that combination. Yep. I think cutting back in distance here should probably help this horse. Number 2, what a guy. Second start off the claim for trainer Scott Lake is a 22% winning angle for Mr. Lake, who typically wins at about 15%. Scott being a guest on the Horse Center show before. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you check it out. While you're here at Horse Racing Radar TV, please hit the subscribe button. If you like what you see, thumbs up is a very well appreciated. Helps us with the algorithms, moves us up the search ranking, something we appreciate. It's interesting to me here that the 8 horse here, Tough Workout. What's interesting to me here is that Jamie Ness's top pick for jockeys, Ruben Silvera, is riding this 2 horse in here, despite the fact that Jamie has a horse in this race as well, the 5 horse. So I wonder what that means. Maybe I should have flipped those 2 around. Number 8, Tough Workout, has plenty of early pace and usually breaks very well. If you look at the start, bunch of ones. So I think you're probably going to see the 8 horse get out to a good start here. At PARX, though, 7 times, 3 seconds, and 2/3. Hasn't found the winner's circle yet. Question is if he can hold that lead. So far, hasn't been able to do it at PARX. And then finally, number 3, Dad Zazev, whatever that means, is an early pace horse that could be the pilot or co-pilot. Was a tough call over Terry 6 for me, but I'm going to take the early speed, early wheels over the late wheels. Race number 4 is another of these mile and 70-yard races. It's an optional claiming for $16,000, as we mentioned already, with 1 mile and 70 yards. There is a slight inside speed bias. We do see here. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter which post position you get, but you do get a little bit of advantage if you're on the inside. There was a significant scratch in this race, at least for me, Terry. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
The 9 horse was probably going to be my top choice. It was my top choice. It had the early pace advantage over everybody else. That has been since nixed. The 8 horse was a non-factor. I had him in that no chance column or not been close. So that means the 2 and 8s probably benefit greatly over the 9 scratching, as they'll probably jump out to the lead. The 10 horse will probably be right behind them, and does have a plus early pace and late pace advantage. This is one I was contemplating, the 10 horse, maybe making a best bet of the day. I got a feeling it's your first pick without even looking at it, because I know you pirated mine.
You're absolutely right. Number 10 is my first pick, Red Revolution. He drops in class today, should improve at the shorter distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Yeah, I like as my second pick, number 4, Hornbeam. He comes in from Colonial Downs after winning his last race there and tries PARX racing for the first time. Has a really good jockey. And then number 2 is my third pick, Mega Charlie. He drops in class today, has a trainer who wins 40% of the time when dropping a horse for their next race, switches to the high percentage winning jockey, and should improve at the shorter distance. And then I like number 7, Country Miles. He was only beaten 2 lengths on the turf in the last race. Switching to the dirt maybe going to help quite a bit. And he also switches to a high percentage winning jockey and has the highest last speed figure at this distance.
So I am going to go, as I mentioned, the 10 horse. I was contemplating Red Revolution as a potential best bet in here. This is a NYRA track dropper, has almost a plus early pace, late pace combination. Should really work to its advantage. Number 6, Terry didn't. I was able to disguise this one from him. Hot Pot. Another one of those horses today that last time out showed better from the beginning of the race to the end, from gate to wire. It did so with a Z pattern. So the early pace figures are up here, then a little bit of a dip, and then right back up at the end of the race. Number 4, Hornbeam. This one is a track dropper from Churchill Downs, coming off a maiden claiming win in its 8th race. This one would be best if the track is fast. So far, 4 times out with a win, a second and a third. If it starts to get a little bit wet around the 4th race, maybe a little bit of an issue for this horse. And then finally, number 8, Lieutenant Columo. Showed a lot of early pace in its last race, and I think this is one that benefits greatly from the 9 horse not being in this spot. Race number 5 is another one of these for 1 mile and 70 yards, claiming 7,500 for non-winners of 4 lifetime. Again, this is a place where inside speed probably has a little bit of an advantage over the outside speed, but no deal killers in terms of post position here. Race number 5, we do have, again, another significant scratch, according to my way to the winner circle. The 1 horse was a left arrow horse, not in this race, had a very distinct advantage at 2 furlongs and 4 furlongs, gone. So without that being in there, the 2 and 5, the only 2 horses that like to be to the front, with the rest of them being either pressure closers or closers, should have their way up front. The question is, do they run each other into the dirt, or do they run reasonable fractions? If they do run too fast, 3 horse has a plus late pace advantage and the top early pace and late pace. How did the scratches impact your picks here, Terry?
Well, I'll tell you, it really impacted my hot dog, because I was originally going to start my hot dog in the 5th race and single the horse that was scratched.
So Terry, when he says hot dog is not lunch, we have a pick 4 called the hot dog pick 4.
Yeah.
Where we have a $20 budget. And that's coming up, I think, race 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we'll be showing that shortly.
It is. And originally I was going to do 5, 6, 7, and 8. But having said that, let's go back. And I like number 3 as my first pick, Relative. And he drops in class today and has a trainer in the last 14 days that has won 50% of his starts. And then number 5, We Will Be There. He likes PARX racing, finishing in the money in 60% of his starts, winning 30% of the races, and has a high percentage winning trainer. Then I like number 2, Mountain Tree. He has a high percentage winning trainer and a jockey, and also has early speed, which will really help his chances. And then there are 4, Rowan Warrior. He has finished in the money 33% of the races at PARX and has a decent workout.
Number 5 for me. I got the 5 on today, so maybe it'll be a good day for 5s. Let's cross our fingers for that. We Be There. Very consistent performer at PARX, 10 times, 3 wins, 3 thirds. Nothing in the middle of there. off for a little while, but I think this one's going to be on the gas from go to photo. Number 3, relatively does have a top late pace number that is advantageous, at least 5 points greater than the next closest one. Also has the best combination of early speed and late speed. Is making its second start off a layoff. The resume is kind of mixed on that. Sometimes good, sometimes not. So let's hope for the good version today. Ronin Warriors are first off the claim for trainer Daniel Velasquez. That is a 20% angle for a trainer who otherwise wins at 8%. So that's almost a super alpha for Mr. Velasquez. And then finally, number 2, Mountain Tree. I think this one benefits from the one scratching. It's going to be the pilot or co-pilot with the 5, if the 5's ready to run off the bench. If not, I'm going to be at all surprised to see Mountain Tree move to the front and be the one that tries to take them from wire to wire. Race 6 is 1 mile, Terry, on the main track. So far, at PARX for 1 mile, there has been a speed bias. Doesn't matter if you wear a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, but if you do catch an 8 or out, that is a discount. So you don't want outside post if you can't help it here. As far as our way to the winner's circle pace sheet looks like, a bunch of scratches in this race, Terry. The 12 is out, the 13 were out. They were all also eligibles. The 11 out. And once again, a left arrow horse getting bounced out of this race. I'm not so sure he would have been a part of my picks. Bit of a long shot there. 8 horse, another one that's never been close, so probably not impactful whatsoever at all. But as you can see, without the 12 and the 13 in, there's really not a lot of pace in here. One of these, most likely, the 1, the 3, the 6, or 7, going to take them to the front. I think that number probably belongs to the 7, who also has some of the top late pace in the field. How do you see this race playing out?
Well, first of all, the scratches didn't affect me at all because I didn't have any of them really in there. But I like the number 3 as my first pick, Son of a Saint.
Which happens to be your long shot, is that right?
That's right, long shot of the day. Morning line, I think, is 6-1. He likes PARX racing. He finished in the money 80% of his starts there, winning 30% of those races. And he drops in class today and has a high percentage winning jockey. And then I like number 7, Can't Stop Running. He finished 3rd versus Tupper in his last race, drops in class today, and has a high percentage winning trainer who in the last 14 days have been in the money 5 out of 6 starts with 3 wins. Then I like number 6, Wagon Boss. He ran 2nd versus similar in his last race, has the highest last race speed rating, and has the highest speed figure at today's distance. And then I like number 1, Social Group. He ran 2nd versus similar in his last race, and his early running style will really help his chances.
Once again, Terry copying my picks, just deciding to scramble them up in a little bit different order. This one is my box it up, Terry. This is the one where we put together 4 horses again for an exacta box, trifecta box, and superfecta box. Like you, I like the number 3 horse, Son of a Saint, as my top choice in here. Son of a Saint is first run after a brief stint in the barn. This horse has run pretty well after a little bit of time for R&R, including 2 times ago, a 12-length win. So I'm hoping to see that version of Son of Saint. Wagon Boss did run the top last race. Big figure was a big bump, though, relative to the prior race. But, well, the last time he had a big jump up like that, he did regress in the next time out, but still ran a very good effort. Number 1, Social Group, been in the claiming merry-go-round. I think he's been claimed like 7 of the last 10 races or something like that. Is a nose and a half a length away from winning the last 2, but does like to finish in 2nd place. One of those horses that doesn't think it's a winner. At PARX, 16 races, 1 win, 6 seconds, 1/3. So it's either 2nd or not at all. So I have him 3rd. I should probably put him 2nd. And then number 7, Can't Stop Running, did run a Z pattern last time out with better fractions on the slop. So maybe if the rain starts to kick in, the horse might like that. Finished behind many of these, though, so it's really kind of difficult to put him in front of others, considering he hasn't been able to beat them in the past. Race number 6 also ends, as you mentioned, you alluded, Terry, our hot dog pick 4. It's where we have a $20 budget. I really contemplated singling that 10 in race 4, but didn't feel like I needed it because I can go Noah 2x2x2 for races 3, 4, and 6, and then put 5 horses in there in race 5, which I feel like is the most open in this group. What about you?
Yeah, I was really disappointed that the horse in the fifth in that fifth race was scratched, that one horse,
Mhm.
because I was going to go single that one horse and then really spread out for the rest of the other three races. But well, actually only two, because I like a really good horse in the eighth race. Anyway, I like the two with the three horses in the sixth, because I think the fifth and the sixth races are the most wide open.
I agree with you. I in Upva says he likes Wagon Boss, and that is in what race is Wagon Boss in, Terry? Again, looks to me like Wagon Boss is in race
Is
number 6, the six
six,
horse,
yeah.
indeed. Yeah, and I like them too. I just that when I go back, I like to look back at horses in their cycles and stuff like that. And when I see a horse bump up to a peak number, I want to see what did it do previously when it peaked. And last time out, the 6 did regress a little bit. It actually, honestly, did grade out a little bit higher than the 3 for me, but I regressed it a little bit, which put the 3 in front of it. What's happening, Charles B? How are you today, my friend? Hopefully, you had a fantastic weekend. Terry didn't, because his 49ers lost to the Falcons. How does that happen?
I don't know. It just really was disappointing. So
Did you power watch it, like when you videotaped it, or did you watch it live?
No, I power watched. I always power watched.
So Terry records it, then takes out the commercials, and then just watches the plays, which is probably the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Especially when you're watching the 49ers lose to Atlanta. The Cowboys lost to the Eagles too, so what can you do?
I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty something, I'll tell you that. So.
Race 7, 6 furlongs, maiden claiming $25,000, Terry. 6 furlongs. Early on in the year, 6 furlongs was tough on the rail. Not so much anymore. So far, there is this absolute speed bias. There still remains a slight rail discount. Every other post position plays fair at 6 furlongs. So it's one of the fairer positions at PARX. Our way to the winner's circle worksheet says that the 5 horse was one that might have been a part of the early pace. Not going to be in here. Otherwise, everybody else is likely to get a race that they're looking for. The 2 horse and the 6 horse getting the first designation, so they're both first-time starters. You see a little bit of dashes here. So these horses are running at the same level that they run at last time or have run at previously. So if a horse ran at the same level, then moved up and comes back down, I don't really consider that a drop in class in maiden claiming if it hasn't won at this level already. And then you do have the down arrows. So these are horses that are absolutely dropping in class. The 3 horse to me looks like it's probably going to be your pace setter, as the 5 scratches and the 7 didn't show those early wheels, Terry. Many times these races are open to some long shots. What's your thoughts here?
Okay, well, I like number 8 is my first pick, Ageless Endeavor. You know, he ran second in his last race, has the highest last race speed rating. He has a trainer who wins 29% of the time in the second start after she claims a horse. And then I like number 3, Enforcer. He drops in class today. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And then number 4, Drunken Bridge is my third pick. He drops in class today, has a trainer jockey combination who in the last 14 days have won 3 out of 8 starts. And then number 6 is my fourth pick, Gremlin. He is a first-time starter whose dam has 3 winners from 4 starters. And the breeding suits today's distance and a bullet workout on October 8th.
Terry, I missed your second pick there. Who was that? Because I was reading some comments. Because I'm blind, I can't do both things at once.
Number 3, Enforcer.
Number 3, the Enforcer. Oh, that's Terry for sure. You should hear him when the show goes off.
Yeah.
Every little mistake I made, he enforces it. So, welcome. Yeah, Charles says that he's looking for the rain to come because he thinks it can be kind of chalky. I don't really have a lot. I got a lot of mid-priced horses today on the top of my ticket, but I do think there could be some chalk in there as well. $50 play of the day. So, Barry, it looks like Terry's best bet's coming up in race number 8. Mine's coming up in race number 11. Charles says in race number 2, the 3 horse looks like a $50 win bet to him, which is my second pick, Terry's third pick, and also in Terry's box it up. Mm-hmm. So if anybody else has an idea out there which horse they really like and would put $50 on it to win, hit us up in the comment section. And like Barry, like Ima, like Charles, and others, we certainly appreciate any input that you have and any picks that you make. Again, just a community of horse players trying to find a way to put more money into our pockets by putting more horses into the winner's circle. I like the 3-horse in here, Enforcer, third off of a layoff. That classic handicapping angle has some early pace in here, drops in class. It's done pretty well at the distance. 7 times out, hasn't won yet, 3 seconds and a third, but does have a plus. So 10 points better than the next closest horse when you factor in the early and late pace. Number 6, Gremlin. That's how I feel today, like a gremlin after putting these 4s in. Anyway, this one is a first-time starter. And when you look at the workouts below, the last workout before going to the track today is a bullet. In Barry Meadows' book, The Skeptical Handicapper, as I mentioned, that is an alpha angle that wins at 15% or more. So that's a good way to kind of look for first-time starters to see who might have a shot today. Number 8, Ageless Endeavor, Terry, which is becoming more and more our life story as we grow older.
Yeah.
Did run the top last race. Speed figure is a nose and a neck away from winning the last 2 races. In the money at PARX, 7 out of 8, 2 wins, 5 seconds and a third. Also done well at the distance. Hasn't collected the winner's check yet. 3 times out, 2 seconds and a third. And then finally, number 4, Drunken Bridge. This is Jamie Ness and Frankie Pennington. The combination win at 30% together. The debut race was sharp. Last wasn't. Maybe didn't care for the slop. Yeah, it might rain by the time they get to this race, so might not care for that again. This horse is dropping in class. Now, you talked about the $50 bet. This one's coming up as Terry's best bet of the day for race number 8. Race 8 is a 6-furlong affair. Again, 6 furlongs does favor speed, does favor horses that are post 1 through 7. Doesn't really look like there's much of a penalty depending upon your post position. Our pace worksheet for race number 8, we see here that we don't have a true closer, which is a positive. The 4-horse is one that should be right on the front with the early pace. 5-horse, a left arrow horse, a pressure closer. So it can't sit right off the pace. And with all these guys up here looking like they either want to be the pilot or the co-pilot, I would expect the 5 to be patient. The 7-horse does have the top late pace and a plus advantage for early pace, late pace. When you combine the 2, Terry, this is your best bet. So take us through which horses you think or which one is worthy of a $50 win bet.
Well, I think the number 6, Free to Fly. She won her last race at Monmouth Park, has the highest last race speed rating. Her best dirt speeds, fastest among today's starters. Has a trainer who wins 100% of the time when dropping a horse off of a win. And a jockey.
How many times did you do that? 50?
Yeah, I don't know.
50 for 50?
Yeah, no.
Or 2 for 2?
2 for 2.
No,
anyway.
I don't care. 2 for 2 is 2 for 2.
It's still good.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also has a jockey that in the last 7 days has won 3 out of 6 starts. And of course, like I said, it's my best bet of the days. He marks lots boxes off.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 1, Flashing Diamond, is my second choice. She ran second in her last race. Has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 26% of the time when he brings back a beaten favorite to race again. And she has a high percentage winning jockey who in the last 7 days have been in the money 6 out of 10 times and then won 3 of those. Then I like number 2, Imperial Moon. She has won 2 races in a row going for a hat trick and switches to a high percentage winning trainer who wins 50% of the time when dropping a horse off of a win. And then number 7, Prospera. She comes in from Emerald Downs after winning 4 races in a row to try PARX for the first time. Has a trainer in the last 14 days that's had a really good record. 8 starts, 4 wins, and a second.
So Free to Fly is undefeated in 3 at PARX. Winner 12 of 18 at the distance, so really likes the track, really likes the distance for sure. 3 consecutive speed figure increases. My concern here is the last time this horse upped its speed number 3 in a row. That 4th time did show some regression. So I was thinking about maybe flipping out the 2 for the 1. 6 for the 1 here. It was really a close call for me. Again, Terry and I being identical here because Terry is in my computer. Flashing Diamond, consistent high-end performer for this crew. I think it's going to be part of the early chase as well. Number 2, Imperial Moon, won 3 of its last 4. One that's been effective at the distance. 3 wins, 2 seconds, and a third in 8 tries. It's making its third start off a layoff. And again, if you rewind the PPs a little bit, the past performances, you'll see that the third race off the bench can be the best. And then finally, number 7, Prospera, does have a plus advantage in the early pace, late pace combination. The question for me for this horse, Terry, is can her form travel from Emerald Downs?
Yeah.
The Lone PARX workout was similar to the numbers that the horse ran at Emerald. So if it can carry that all the way across the country, that would be a big plus for that horse. Now, it is Terry's best bet of the day. And, of course, our friend, the professor, has his best parlay of the day. Doesn't look like it's up yet, but there is a link in the description down below. His parlays are a little bit underwater, 22 parlays that won, 33 that lost, but only down 1.2 units. So it means he's been hot lately. So you're going to want to check that link out down there below in the description. While you're there, you can also go see the entire show on his YouTube channel. And if you're there in the comments section, please let him know that Horse Racing Today sent you. And again, a little later on tonight, sticking with the stuff to do on your calendar, tonight, Sean and I will be back at 8 p.m. Eastern for Horse Center. Tonight's guest is going to be trainer Mark Henning, coming out of the D. Wayne Lucas coaching tree. So if you have any questions for Mr. Henning, make sure you tune in at 8 o'clock. Hit us up in the comment section. Let us know what you think about that. And of course, the best way to make sure you don't miss anything, Terry, is to do what?
Is to actually subscribe on YouTube, and of course hit the little I think it's a bell so that you're notified, and then give us a thumbs up on Facebook at the Horse Race the number 2 day. Like us of course on Facebook, and also on Instagram at Horse Race the number 2 day, and Instagram. So Twitter. So.
Yeah, it's all the same. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Horse Race the number 2 day. That is our that's our handle wherever we go. Race number 9, 6.5 furlongs, Terry. So far at 6.5 furlongs, it looks like that horses that have a little bit of early speed, not as predominant as it is in 6 furlongs. And again, we have an inside-out bias here, so meaning horses, the 1 does better than the 2, does better than the 3, all the way out, so forth. So you're going to want a little bit of inside speed at 6.5 furlongs. Hey, we appreciate that. If you like what you see, please give us the thumbs up and tell your friends about us. Word of mouth is also a great way to help the show grow. We appreciate that. So in race number 9, Terry, this one is we look at our pace worksheet once again. We don't have any scratches here, but I think this might be the most competitive race on the card. It was also one that I was considering making my box it up because almost all of the horses have a similar early pace, and minus the 4, all of them all have similar leg pace. So there's really not a whole lot of difference between any of these horses. Maybe the one deciding factor is the 4 horse is a pressure closer in a race that does have a lot of horses that look like they prefer to be forwardly placed. And it's also a left arrow horse. So if these guys go too slow, can move up to the front. If they go too fast, can wait for them to tire out, pick them off one by one at the end. When the race is over, Terry, who will pick them all off?
Well, I like as my first pick, number 8, He's Incredible.
Which
I am. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
He won his. I got you there.
You
won his
knew
last
it was coming.
race.
I'm a little too predictable, I guess.
I know, and I was quicker. He won his last race at PARX Racing, has the highest last speed rating, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, who in the last 7 days has won 3 out of 6 starts. Then I like the 4 horse that you were mentioning, My Tres por Ciento.
My 3%. I think it's like
yeah.
my 300s or something. I don't know. I'm not quite. I think ciento means 100, but I'm not sure.
Well, he has won 3 races in a row and has a trainer who wins 25% of the time when dropping off a win. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and also a good workout on October 6th. Mm-hmm. And then number 2, Get the W. He finished in the money in 11 out of 13 starts this year, winning 6 of the races, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, switches to a high percentage winning jockey. And then number 6, Genghis. He won his last race at PARX Racing and has a high percentage winning trainer. And I agree with you. This is a really wide open race.
Yeah, I felt like it was a wide open race. And then, of course, we have the same 4 picks. So He's Incredible. Yes, indeed, Terry is. He's a nose away from winning 4 races in a row, and did run the top last race speed figure. And Get The W is my second choice. The thing that we like those W flags around here for the Chicago Cubs, although they're not in the playoffs this year. Did run some better fractions early in his last race, is dropping from a $100,000 non-graded stakes race. It's supposed to rain maybe by this time. And if it does rain, I'm going to put another horse at the end of my picks here because I would take the 2 out. I think he's 0 for 7 on the sloppy track. So if it does get wet, keep that in mind. Number 6, Genghis is my second and my third choice. Another that ran better times last out. And that was at 6.5 furlongs compared to 6 furlongs. So it even enhances that improvement, catches a weight break in here as well. Number 4, my 3% is a left arrow horse in here. It's interesting to me that Paco Lopez rode this horse for a win 2 races back and instead is on the 8 horse today. So I think Paco's made his choice as to which one he likes better. And again, if it is wet by race number 9, remember, it's a mnemonic thing, 9 and 9. Because if it does rain, I do think that this 9 horse has done much better on an off track. So I'm going to flip the 9 out for the 2 and move the 6 and 4 up a little bit in the event it's raining at that time. Can't count on the weatherman totally, Terry.
No, you can't.
Race 9, love the 9, very streakiness. Yeah, so I kind of like that 9 horse in there too, especially if it's wet. So keep that in mind, folks. Race number 10, as we close in on the end of this card, the last 2 races where I have a long shot. Best bet daily double to close out the show. It's 6.5 furlongs. Again, 6.5 furlongs does favor speed, does have an inside to outside bias. So the closer you are to the rail, the better. All but the 2 horse in here have very similar early pace. So they're going to be really going to be charging when that gate opens, I think. The 2 horse does have the most late pace, likely to be way, way, way behind everybody else. Does have a late place plus. I don't know that that's going to be enough to catch everybody. Otherwise, everybody else should fit right in to where they like the 1, the 3, and the 8. Very similar early pace numbers. 7 horse should sit right behind him. So everybody should get a race that they're comfortable with, which means in this particular spot, the best horse should probably win, Terry. And who do you think that is?
I like the number 3, Market Maven. That's my first pick. He won his last race at PARX Racing, and he had been off for over 5 months. And it really impresses me when a horse has been off that long, comes back and wins their first race. And he won it at today's distance. He switches to a high percentage winning trainer who in the last 14 days have won 2 out of 4 starts. Number 4 is my second pick, Easy Day. He won his last race at PARX Racing, has the highest last race speed rating, and has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 21% of the time when bringing a horse back after it's won its last race. And also has a high percentage winning jockey. And then I like number 1, Spittin' Image. He comes in from Emerald Downs to try PARX Racing for the first time. The rail post is winning at 21% clip, and he has finished in the money in 14 out of 19 starts during his career, winning 5 of those races. And for me, it seems to me, if I can remember correctly, that the Emerald Downs horses usually perform pretty well when they come to PARX. And then I like number 7, Rob the Rich. He won his last race at PARX Racing and has a high percentage winning trainer.
I'm glad they have the in between the 2 and not just Rob Rich. That would be brutal. All right. So for me, my long shot in here in race number 10 is number 4. Easy Day is my first choice in here. At PARX, 7 times out, 4 wins and a third. So likes to win at the track, but particularly at the distance, 5 times, 3 wins and a second. A winner of 4 of 6 of his last 6 races, and no more than 1.5 lengths from the winner in any of those 6 races. So the 2 times he finished out of the money was a part of the story at the end as well. Number 7, Rob the Rich, won his lone park start by about 6 lengths, which is a pretty good number. Does have a maintenance workout in between that race. Once again, we find Paco Lopez rides here instead of the 8 horse. Which is interesting to me because he rode the 8 horse in 4 of its last 7 starts. Number 3, Market Maven, won his last race after more than a year on the sidelines. Limited resume does say that round 2 is likely to be better, although you don't know if it'll stick to that same pattern. I think if they're a year off, I'm a little more concerned about a little bit of a regression in here than I would be if the horse had a normal routine. And then finally, number 8, Hero Tiger is a consistent performer that looks like he's slipping he's still good enough to compete with all these, but race after race, just slipping a little. If he runs anywhere near back to his back class, would have a real good threat to make Paco look foolish for riding another horse instead. Charles says in race number 10, Scary, the 5-horse, very good horse, likes the track in race number 10. I don't have the 5-horse, neither does my man Terry. So that might be one you want to add to your roster of picks for later on in the day, particularly if it's wet. Final race of the day, Terry, is race number 11. It is a claiming 5,000 non-winners of one in a year. 6 furlongs again. Speed matters. Post position, aside from the one which gets a minor discount, is the way to the winner's circle. Looking at this race, we do have a scratch here. The 3-horse gets bounced, as long as the 6-horse also gets bounced, which also provided a little bit of early pace. 2-horse now becomes the one that's likely to get the lead, although the 1-horse is a left arrow horse, which means, although it likes to pressure and not necessarily be on the lead, it's just normal gait out of the gate. Should be good enough to put it in contention for the lead. I don't know if it'll take the lead, the 1-horse, but I certainly think he's likely to sit right behind the 2. Let the 2 kind of take charge and see if he has the legs to run by him at the end. If not, the 5-horse owns the most late pace in here. But again, if you look here, all but the 9 and 5 have similar early pace. I think this race is likely to set up for one that can get to the front, maybe stay in the front. The speed of the speed, so to speak, Terry. All right, how are you going to close the show, my friend?
Well, I like the number 1 horse, Star Luck. She ran second versus similar last race and has the highest last speed rating. And then number 8, Tomato Gator. She finished third versus similar in her last race at PARX and has a high percentage winning trainer. And then number 9, You Should Be So Lucky. She comes in from Monmouth Park to try PARX racing for the first time, drops in class, and has a high percentage winning jockey. And then number 7, Daytime Lover is my 4th pick. She drops in class today and has a good 4 furlong workout on October 11th.
So I'm going to go with Starluck as my top pick and my best bet of the day to close out the race card today. Left arrow horse hasn't run since June. Okay, Works getting ready. Mixed results off the break. So if it runs to its best, probably can make easy work of this field. But sometimes off the break, the horse needs one. So if it needs one, today probably wouldn't be the best day to best bet it. Number 8, Tomato Gator. I love the name. Better early and late in its last race, which is a classic Z pattern. Number 2, Strawberry Red. Winner of 4 and 9 on an off track, and by then it's supposed to rain. So I think it also could be the pace setter. Get to the front. Not a lot of muddy kickback. Maybe good. Works out well for the 2-horse. Number 9, You Should Be So Lucky. Catches a weight break. Been off since late August. And has a decent workout on the October the 12th. So not all that long ago, the horse is at the track. This one brings out our prime rib pick 4. Even though the 1 was my best bet, I feel like that race is wide open if the 1 doesn't win. And with that time off, race 8, Tomato Gator gets the first win this year, the 8-horse. But I went ahead and put all in that back leg in there, Terry, because I feel like if the 1 doesn't win, and with his mixed record off of the bench, at his best, makes easy work of this field. But if he doesn't win, then I'm concerned that anything can happen in there. You're going to single the 6 on the first race.
That's right. Yeah. And then I'm going to spread out as much as I can in the next 3 races, especially the 9th and the 10th race. And I really think your 1's going to win. If it doesn't, then of course I've got 3 to back it up. So I wasn't really surprised you did all in the 11th race with your best bet being the 1. But that,
well, the reason was, to be honest, as I went through those first 3 races, Terry, I felt like a lot of them I could just go with the first 2, but because we had a little bit better budget. So then I went ahead and I added another horse in there, hoping to catch some prices in here. I agree with you. The 6-horse is your logical winner in race number 8. But if not, the 1 or the 2, maybe we catch a price in there. Same with the 8 and the 2 and the 6, the 4, 7 and the 3. So I put those in there. I felt like those 3 horses were the best in those races.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I just saw how much money I have left.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then I alled it. And then hopefully, hopefully the 1 wins as the best bet, but I catch some prices earlier on and it all pays pretty nicely at the end there.
Yep.
That is the game plan. I think we're about 7-8 minutes away from the first race. at PARX.
Yeah, actually 4 minutes, but go ahead.
4 minutes. Well, it's close. By the time they get in the gates and run, it'll be 8
7
minutes.
or 8. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So here are our full picks for the day. Terry's best bet is in race number 6. Race number 8, the 6 horse. Mine is in race number 11. Terry's long shot in race number 6. My long shot in race number 10. So I have a long shot best bet to close out the daily double there. Terry's box it up is in race number 2, coming up shortly. Mine's in race number 6, 50-cent trifecta box, 50-cent trifecta box, $1 exacta box, 10-cent superfecta box, hot dog pick 4 starting in race number 3. Terry spending 18, mine putting $20, the max budget. Prime rib pick 4s again, the last 4 card races on the card. I'm ending with an all. So if I can make it to race number 10 and I'm alive in race number 11, I'm going to be rooting against my long shot, my best bet, and hoping for the longest, biggest price to come in, Terry. Just being honest, my friend.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad.
Mm-hmm. So. And if today, if you're going to be also betting anywhere other than PARX, if you're going to look at our friends at Finger Lakes, Terry, you stopped there. You said you liked that track.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. I liked it pretty nice. So
Finger Lakes over at Horse Guaranteed Tip Sheet is today's free track of the day. Again, there is a link down below. Please use that link here on Facebook, on YouTube, or you'll find links over at horseracingtoday.net. Kindly use any one of those links so they know where you're coming from. In race number 1 at Finger Lakes, like the 8 horse, Empress Palpatine as our top selection over there today at Finger Lakes. And of course, there's a free track and every race covered every single day. Thanks, Charles. Good luck to you. Appreciate that. Tomorrow, we're going to do Horseshoe Indianapolis. Thank you for the segue for Terry and I on Terry Tuesdays. When Charles comes back on Wednesday, we will do Keeneland. On Thursday, we'll do Belmont at Aqueduct, which should really just be called Aqueduct. All shows scheduled to start around 12 o'clock. Hopefully, we can get started on time. Sometimes, scratches kind of hold us back a little bit, especially at those NYRA tracks. I don't know what the hell they're doing over there, Terry. But in any case, any final thoughts before we get up and out of here today?
Well, yeah, it's been a good weekend for me, and I'm hoping everybody else had a good weekend. I hope everybody has a great week this week. It's going to be nice weather here. It's going to be in the 70s, 80s, so that's pretty nice. And just give your loved ones a shout out, a hug, contact them. Life gets busy, and a lot of times we get to the point where we forget to reach out or think things just happen. So reach out to your loved ones and let them know how you feel. So
indeed. I want to say thank you to Sid Thompson, to another one I can't read. And good to see our good friend Jay Marco back. Thumbs up for us on Facebook. Yeah. Appreciate that. Again, like Jay and others, if you like what you saw here today, thumbs up are greatly appreciated. Smash the like button on YouTube. Help us out in terms of their algorithms. My 3 pearls of wisdom today. Number 1, Terry, if you're an old man like me, you're going to take on a big project. Drink a lot of water and take some Advil before you get started. Otherwise, it'll be 3 days later and you'll still be feeling it. Yeah. Second thing, of course, is treat people like you want to be treated. Always great advice, I think, Terry. So hopefully we treat you to a lot of winners today, because we hope that no matter what you do, of course, it ends up in our good friend, good to see him back, Jay Marco's
Winner's Circle.
Again, have a great Money Monday. We'll see you tomorrow for Horse Racing Indianapolis, Horseshoe Indianapolis.